Welcome back. In this video we'll be looking at using the UNIX operating system. In this subject we are not programming on Windows, rather we are programming on UNIX. This operating system is running on the servers at Latrobe, and as we saw in the last video we can connect to those servers using the PuTTY terminal. Now, first things first, we're going to get connected, the same as before. We're actually going to use let's.cs8, and that's at let's.cs8.cs.latrobe.edu.au, and that's using PuTTY. If you're working from home, you need to remember to connect to the VPN. So we're going to open that once again. I'm going to make the text a little bigger, just so you can see it a little clearer. There we go. So you'll be prompted to log in. Just enter your student number and then your password. Okay. So once you're in, the first thing to recognize is that you're not running on Windows at this stage, you're running on the server, and you're running using the UNIX operating system. Now, to use this, you'll first notice there isn't a graphic interface, rather it's text-based, and so to move around you'll need to know some commands. Alright, so the first command we're going to look at is ls, which will display everything in the current directory. This is handy because it allows us to see what we've got available to us. Now, when you first use this, you'll notice that ls won't show anything. And the reason is because you haven't created anything yet. So what we're going to create first is a folder or a directory. And we're going to call this our OOF directory, and this is where we're going to store all of our stuff related to the subject. For this subject and for all your subjects in computer science and IT, you should maintain a good directory structure. So we're going to make our first directory using mkdir, which stands for make directory. Then we put a space, and then we can write the name of the directory or folder. So we'll call this OOF. Now, with all your file names and directories in Unix, it's a lot easier to manage if you don't use spaces. So try and avoid spaces. If you do need something with spaces, just use an underscore. So we're going to make that directory, and now if we type ls once again, we can see that folder there. So, like in Windows, we can go into folders. To do that, we type cd, which means change directory, and we've only got one option there, which is OOF, so we'll change directory into our OOF folder. So if we press enter, we're now inside of that directory, and if we type ls, we don't see anything because we're currently inside it. Now, if you're unsure where you currently are, you can type pwd, and that will print the working directory. And as you can see, we're inside of this OOF folder. Yours is going to look a little bit different because I've got a folder that we're running this in, but you should see something similar. So if I can go into a directory, I use cd, but if I want to get out of a directory, I also use cd, but I type cd space ... and this will bring me back one directory. So if I type ls again, I've got OOF there. So we're going to have a bit more practice. We're going to go into this directory OOF, and we're going to make a directory called lab1, and we'll press enter, and we'll see that we've got lab1 inside of that directory. Now, writing all these commands over and over again can get tedious and can be time consuming. So to speed that up, if you press the up arrow key on your keyboard, it will display the commands that you've already typed. So we can go back and make a lab 2, a lab 3, a lab 4, a lab 5, lab 6, lab 7, lab 8, lab 9, lab 10, lab 11, and a lab 12. And if we type ls, we can see all of these folders. Alright, so if we wanted to go into one of these folders, we can write cd lab 1. Now we notice that there's nothing in there because we haven't filled it yet. And if we type pwd, which is print working directory, we can see we're inside of the OOF folder, inside of the lab 1 folder. Now if you get lost or you get to somewhere that you're not sure about and you want to return home, you can just type cd by itself and press enter, and that will bring you all the way back to your main directory.